Hello, welcome back.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Christina.
And you're watching Game of Tomes.
Excuse our voices if they're a little weird. We got some phlegm today.
We're both sick. I will do my best to edit out all of the wheezes and the sneezes. So you're welcome.
So, today we decided to do our first wrap-up.
Woo-hoo!
And, of course, it's for the month of October.
Yeah.
So, here we go.
Let's get started.
The very first book I read this month, and I kind of read it as I was reading the other ones because I keep my Kindle by my bed and I only read it usually during bedtime. But I read Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. If you can see that, I don't know. Sorry. But I'm sure you know what it looks like. I've been just rereading the Harry Potter series just for fun because it's been a long, long time since I've read it. And my perspective on it as an adult has definitely changed than when I was a kid. And it's really interesting. So, I mean, I'm sure all of you have probably reread it many times. But if you haven't by chance reread it since you were a kid, you totally should. I love it.
Cool.
What did you read?
The first book, I didn't actually read it. I DNF'd it. I got to about page 100, and I just couldn't anymore. And I feel really bad. This is the second time I picked up this book in an attempt to read it. The idea sounds really cool. Captain Nemo in a mysterious ship in the unexplored oceans. It just sounds really cool. And the beginning of it I was into, but then once he gets there to the submarine, I was just like, literally nothing happens that I'm interested in. And I had to quit because I was just like, it was taking forever and I was going nowhere. So, goodbye.
DNF. So, the next book we actually both read together, and it was The Night Circus, which you probably already know by our review and our discussion videos on it. Go check them out. We have full review, we have a full discussion, and they're separate videos, so, you know, you won't get confused if you haven't read it versus if you have. Go check them out.
Yeah, we both really like this book.
Yes, very, very much. It was really good.
We recommend this.
My next one is actually a very short story, and I picked it up at a local bookstore that they just sell used books, and it was only $1, and it was The Boomer by Marty Asher, and it's actually super, super short, and I picked it up because it looks just so cool with all the pictures, and I really enjoyed it. It's a very, very short story of a man named Boomer, and basically just him going through his life and having the American dream, and basically just not ever being happy with it, and it's kind of more intellectual. It makes you want to have to think a little bit because it's very non-descriptive. That's what I read, and I really enjoyed it. I read it in like 15 minutes, so.
Cool.
What did you read?
I like it. I read 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James. I feel almost like apologetic for holding this book up. So I liked it. It was enjoyable, and I was entertained. I liked the storyline. As I was reading it, I was like, man, this is a lot like Twilight. And I started ticking off all the things that I thought sounded just like Twilight.
Really?
And then I was like, I went online and I said, is this Twilight fanfiction? And the internet was like, yeah, everybody knows it's Twilight fanfiction.
I didn't know that.
You didn't?
No, but I also haven't read it.
I didn't either. And so I think that's why I liked it, because it was, it had that same romance.
And feel to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I'm kind of interested to see where it goes. It ends on a cliffhanger. There was a lot of erotica in it.
Yeah.
And almost too much, it's fine if that's what you're wanting. And it wasn't there to just complement the story. It was like
the main storyline.
It was a lot of it.
Yeah.
So that part was just like I wanted to get to know them a little bit.
You wanted it to go a little deeper into it versus deeper into each other. Sorry, Grandma. I just keep thinking about your grandma watching this.
She knows what's up.
It'll be alright.
Okay.
Okay.
Your turn.
So, my next one was False Memory by Dean Koontz. I wanted to kind of read a horror novel for Halloween. I did not really enjoy this, and she DNF'd 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have done it with this book. I was just, from the get-go, I wasn't very interested in it, and it's very descriptive, which, if you don't mind it, that's fine, but I just kind of found it to be too much, And the storyline, I was super interested when I read the synopsis of it, and then once it really found out what it was, I was like,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't really care for it. I'm not bashing if you do. That's totally great. Everybody likes different stuff.
Sure.
For me, it was just like laborious to read it, and I had to force myself to. And honestly, I literally just like scanned the last 100 pages of it just to find out what happened. Sorry, Dean Koontz.
Oh, I've never read any Koontz, but I've heard a lot of people like it. Maybe that's just not. Maybe we need to find another Koontz.
So like Intensity and Velocity.
Yeah.
But I haven't read those either. So if you have a Dean Koontz suggestion that you think I might like, let me know, because I did not enjoy that one at all. Sorry. Not at all.
Okay, the book I read next was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey, which I borrowed from Christina. Thank you, Christina.
You're welcome.
I really like this book. It's a Rage Against the Machine story, if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, totally.
It's sad, and it's harrowing.
It's one of my all-time favorite books by far now, since I read it.
I really love this book.
Yeah. We're actually probably going to do a discussion video on it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
we'll go deeper into our opinions on this next week, so that's...
But I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
My other one I read was The Rope Trick by Lloyd Alexander. After reading Dean Koontz' False Memory, this was such a nice, very short. I read it in, a day and a half. It's not even 200 pages. But it's very, you can tell it's obviously for, like, maybe elementary school kids. But it had such a sweet, sweet story to it.
It's middle grade.
And, yeah, definitely. It's this girl who's a magician and wants to learn the rope trick, which is, this fame trick. And she meets kind of, like, a ragtag little band of people that become, like, their family.
Did she do magic, or?
Well, because once she could have, like, she held, like, blue
Tricks.
flames in her hands. But then other ones, she came upon a guy who became her assistant. And she was talking about how they do their tricks. And how there's, like, a drop box in the back. Or when I chop off your head, you stick a wooden head through it.
Oh.
So, you know what I mean?
Tricks,
It's kind of, yeah. But they never super specified. But then some stuff she does, I kind of think is, like, real magic. But it's hard to tell. They don't really specify. But it was a super, super sweet story.
Cool.
To kind of just, like, on
All Hallows Eve, I picked up The Omen by David Seltzer. And it was okay.
Did you finish it?
I did.
I know you were reading it.
I finished it on Halloween night.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just fine. They re-released this book June 6, 2006. When the movie came out with Ben Affleck. Do you remember that?
666.
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't seen the movie.
I haven't either. But they re-released the book updated. Like an updated version.
Oh, okay.
And I wish I had read that one. This one was published in 76, I believe.
Right.
I like books that were written in the 70s.
Right.
It's not, I don't think that's the problem. It's more like there was a bunch of stuff that happened that I was just really unrealistic. And I'm not just talking about the paranormal stuff.
Aspect of it. Right.
Yeah, just like some things, and I just didn't care. And we barely it's not told from the perspective of the kid. We barely even get to see the kid. We just see the dad and him trying to figure out, like, what's going on. But I literally don't think there was ever any interaction between the kid and his dad. Like, not once.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah, wouldn't recommend. Maybe you should read the updated version.
I feel like we were both kind of on the quest for, like, the ultimate horror Halloween novel, and neither one of us got it.
No.
It was really disappointing.
Yeah. And after I finished this book, I couldn't sleep that night, and I listened to a podcast, and it was scarier than this.
Yeah.
And I had to, like, turn the light on.
Right.
I was like, why couldn't I have got that with that?
Right, that's what you want in a Halloween novel. But
Right.
If you have spooky suggestions, let us know. I mean,
sure.
Because I haven't read horror in so long, and then reading the Bird Box just kind of like, whew.
Yeah.
I want to read so much more, but
Me too.
I don't want to read
False Memory and The Omen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let us know if you have any suggestions.
Cool. That's all we read for October. Let's talk about what we're currently reading, just for funsies.
Yeah, I'm
are you
actually currently reading, it's on my Kindle, but Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, the 5th book, surprise, surprise.
How's it going?
I like it a lot, actually. Harry actually really gets on my nerves in this book. Like, I find him, like, I just feel like after all he's been through, and he's 15, I feel like he should be a little more mature than what he is in the novel, and it's just kind of like, Harry, like, shut up. But, no, I still love it. It would still definitely be, like, 5-star, one of my all-time favorites, of course. And I think I'm exactly, like, 60% of the way through, something like that, so.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What are you reading?
I'm reading The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and I'm actually really enjoying this book. I didn't think I would, honestly. I wasn't sure if it sounded like something I wanted to read.
Well, and I know a couple of us in book club were like, eh.
Yeah, it's a book club book.
Yeah.
But I think part of it is that I really love the movie, this version specifically. I've seen other versions that are just like, no, but I love this version. And so I think that really helps aid the story along, because I can imagine these particular actors in my head are playing out the what's happening. So
see, when I read it, I still have not seen the movie. And when I read it a couple years ago, I think it was right before it came out. But then, like, I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to follow in my head with everything, because it's hard to picture, you know?
Sure, yeah. Like, there's some things, like the billboard with the eyes on it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, well, he doesn't even say that it's a billboard. He's just like, there are big, giant glasses, the optometry. But he never even says the word billboard. I'm like, there's just giant glasses in the sky? And I had to look it up, and they're like, it's a billboard. And I was like, oh, okay. So sometimes he leaves out descriptive things that I would really
appreciate having.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's obvious, and I just missed it, but, like, literally he doesn't say it's a sign or a billboard. They're just giant...
floating giant eyes and glasses.
Yeah! I was like, what? So, I had to get that cleared up. But I do want to say, like, if I really enjoy a movie, like, I'm cool with the cover being...
Yeah, I totally understand. And, I mean, who doesn't like Leo DiCaprio? So... Anyway, that's what we read in October and what we are currently reading. Let us know what you're reading down below. Definitely interested. You know.
And what your favorite book in October was.
Or if you've read any of these books that we read. Let us know what you thought about them.
And some Dean Koontz recommendations.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, I really could not get into that one.
Happy reading! Bye!
Bye!
Hello world, this is me. Do you know that song?
Is that from Rent?
No.
I don't know it then. Shimmy, shimmy.
Cocoa Puffs. Forget it.
Never mind.